Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Unconditional Life. It has been a minute since we've been with you. Guess life just happens. Just been really busy for the last few weeks or so. So, John, I'm excited to be back in the studio with you, recording. I got to tell you, I know we talked about this earlier, but just being in your presence again gives me a lot of different kinds of energy. I appreciate the type of aura you carry around with you. So I'm very grateful to be back in the studio again. And you know what, John? Today I think we should just kind of catch up. What's been going on, man? What's new with you?
You know, just life. It's in my conventional business, carpet cleaning. It's the busiest time of year. Everybody forgets that it's Thanksgiving until November 1st. And then they pretend like they're the only client I have.
Oh yeah, turkey.
Which is great. I love it. Thank you for the abundance that we're enjoying right now. But it's been really caught up in the hustle and bustle of just working and getting things done. Probably the most significant thing, and I'll just dive right into it because I've seen a huge change in my life, and I actually think we talked about this on the way down here. I actually think it's probably one of the biggest, I'm going to go out and say nemesis of humankind.
Is it nemesis? Nemesis?
Of human connection that I've ever seen in my life. And I've been here for a minute. And I'm going to actually show you. And I know this is going to piss people off because we're supposed to be getting more connected with these, right? I will be very transparent about this. I noticed myself getting a little triggery.
Phone happy?
About my wife being on the phone. She's taking a role in the business, and she's doing some social media stuff, and I'm just noticing I've always had to run the business, and so there's always this great excuse for me to be on the phone, right? But over the last few years, I've been noticing that I get eager for closing time, and I put my phone on the charger. So I noticed in our interactions that the phone was causing me to rest. So I made a simple request that we try a phone fast. 3 weekends ago, Friday night at 6 o'clock when the business hours ended, we put our phones on the phone chargers. And we pretended like it was back in the olden days where if the phone was on the wall and you didn't hear it ring, it was okay.
Right.
Like you didn't get all the drama.
You weren't standing in front of the dial or going,
yeah, the play-by-play from everybody's drama and brain damage.
Yep.
Well, at the end of the weekend, I noticed the most connected I have felt with my sweetheart in a long time. And I said something on Monday morning at the table. We were having a cup of coffee, and she said, "You want to do it every weekend?" And I'll tell you what, the first weekend we were very Nazi-ish about it. We literally nothing, no kids, nothing. We will not look at our phones. Well, then we decided that it's a discipline of being together on the weekends so we can actually be connected.
Yeah.
Instead of being pulled at by the world in a million ways.
Because even if you're having a conversation, even if you just look down real quick to check a text, the attention that you had with that person is broken right then and there. And you never really get that back 100%.
Oh, totally.
You know, and we've actually done something similar. Ours looks a little bit different, but we started trying fasts with our phone. It's kind of funny.
I love it.
We didn't talk about this.
No, not at all. We both did it independently.
Yeah, it's weird. And so we're driving down here and we realize we've both been trying this. It's kind of funny how it kind of happens to us at the same time. But we did a little bit differently. We took Sunday as our day. And for the past few weeks, we've taken Sunday, and on the kitchen counter, what we do is everybody takes their phones and then we put them on the kitchen counter. We can have the volumes on them up. But we don't carry them around with us. They're not part of who we are for that day. So we understand though that sometimes to be connected in this world, a lot of times you need to have access to it or be able to know when an emergency is going down or something like that. So if you need to send a quick text or make a quick little call, you go to the counter, you don't unplug it, you stand the cord length away like we used to have to do with phones anyway.
I love it.
You couldn't go far away from the cord, but you'd have to leave your phone plugged in and you text or you do your phone call from there, and then you put it down and you walk away from the phone. That's our day. Even if that day you don't want to be around other people, but you need some alone time, the alone time you get without your phone is really true alone time. Are you really alone when you have your phone with you?
No.
No. I mean, you're distracting yourself from yourself. And sometimes you just need to be with yourself for a second. So whatever we decide to do that day, it doesn't revolve around electronics or devices and stuff like that. And it's made a huge difference. We've done a lot of activities. We've played games as a family, even video games. Like our family loves Mario Kart. So one thing we do is the four of us will sit down, and it's also a great way to release rage, at least for me. I'll tell you, I know this is kind of a little bit off topic, but I've gotten a hold of my anger. Like, I used to be a pretty emotional, angry person. I've gotten my hands around that, and I haven't had any outbursts or anything. And so my anger's pretty much gone away, except when we play Mario Kart. I don't know what it is about that damn video game.
I love it.
But it reaches in and grabs the demon. You know what I mean? Because I grew up, being pissed off at video games and stuff. I was the one who'd throw the controller against the wall and break it and stuff and piss off my brothers.
I love it.
Because they can't play anymore. I broke it. In fact, I got scars on my hands because video games were turned off on me.
I play games merely for the joy of playing. I play them good, but to the best of my ability.
Any other game right now,
That's
yes.
funny.
I'm like
funny.
that too, but Mario Kart gets me. But anyway, that's off topic. The point is we've had a lot of really good family moments since we've started doing that. So it's kind of interesting over these last couple months, we've both been experimenting with that. What it's like to not be tied to your phone all the time. And that's really cool.
I actually have, I kind of got the idea, and I'm going to integrate it more into my life. In Timothy Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he talks about doing this in specific, that he trained everybody. He noticed he was caught up in the minutia of emails and returning calls and just a whole bunch of stuff, so he never got anything effective done. And what he did was he set an autoresponder on his phone and his email. If I remember, I'm going from memory 20 years ago, 15 years ago. That literally said to people, I'm trying a new thing and I'll get back to you Wednesday between 12 and 1 or Friday between, and he gave him parameters. And not only did it not hurt his business exploded.
Wow.
And what I'm watching around the world is how many of us have been trained, like I see my kids, I've been unread for 3 minutes, 9 minutes.
They hate me.
Remember the olden days when you would call your friend on Friday night and maybe he was gone till Monday and you wouldn't get a phone call till maybe the next week when you called him and said, hey, chump, I tried to get a hold of you. No, you didn't.
You didn't worry if he was dead.
Yeah, even you said a minute ago, our phone's for emergencies. Honest to goodness, let's be really honest with ourselves.
Emergency doesn't mean the same
How
thing.
many emergencies do you have in your life where you have to have your phone in your hand where you could do a damn thing about it because you hear about it instantly? And most of those emergencies aren't even in your immediate family. They're what we think are emergencies. I may have mentioned this before, and my wife and I talk about this. My wife and her family have a family thread, which I have a love-hate relationship with. They're not very close independently. They live all over, but they're able to connect and stay connected on this family thread. And nobody ever asked for permission to take a crap on the family thread.
Right.
Caveat, or like this. I just got in a car wreck or my niece's boyfriend just ran a red light and they got in a motorcycle wreck. And so for the next however many hours, it's hanging on the threads of every single thing horrible that's happening and going on. That's not healthy. We're not meant to be blasted with cortisol and stress all the time from all the brain damage going on in everywhere in the world.
Aren't we supposed to enjoy life?
I read somewhere in a book
A big
that
book
man,
about
we're
that
here
thing.
to find joy.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard, and I don't. Anyway, so I don't want to beat it up too much. I would challenge you, get control of your phone and see if it empowers you at all. Like, see if there's a difference. If you're feeling like we think we need to be connected to everybody all the time, and I'll bet you the closest people around you, you're more disconnected than you ever have been. Unless you are really diligent about putting those phones down. Like, I've gotten bold enough. if I go to lunch with people, and you guys call me a jerk or whatever, but I want to go to lunch with Johnny. I want to go to lunch with my brother Brad or whoever, whatever your name is out. I want to go to lunch with you. I don't want to go to lunch with your phone. I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good point.
we're totally everywhere you go, you walk into a restaurant full of people. 5 or 6 of them are all sitting there staring at their phones. Like, I'll flat ask, you want to go to dinner? Are we going to go to dinner, or are we taking our phones?
I mean, I can't tell you how many red lights I've stopped at. You look around at the cars around you, and everybody's, oh, it's green. Or even the passengers are just, oh, no.
And we have the chance to be connected to human beings. Human beings that love you and actually want your time and attention. Yeah. I promise you. Yeah. I read somewhere, I wish I could remember the book, but I read somewhere that it takes 30 minutes of absolute boredom for you to kick in a new thinking process. When was the last time you went 30 minutes without your freaking phone in your hand to distract you?
Yeah.
I'll bet you, for most of us, it's been a long, long, long time.
Yeah, it's probably been a lot longer for people than they realize until they start thinking about it.
And if you will notice, challenge me one time. Put your phone down for 24 hours. Watch how much time you save in the bathroom. Like, you just go to the bathroom and get off. Like, my goodness.
Like, what am I doing here?
What am I doing? Do I want to sit in here and stare at the walls? No. You will be empowered across so many arenas of your life.
Yeah.
And your primary relationships will be enhanced. I promise you, your primary relationships will be enhanced.
You're absolutely right about that. And you know, we didn't mean for this to turn into a thing about the cell phone. It just happens to be what it turned into. Yeah. Sorry, but our John, we don't really sit here and pre-plan everything because we want the ability for the feeling to take us wherever it needs to take us, and that's what I love about our talks.
Absolutely.
So today it took us in this direction, and I'll tell you what. One thing I've noticed is it's ironic, and we were talking about this too. We think we need our phones to be more connected to people, when it's the phone itself that's preventing us from being connected to people.
Amen.
I think there's something innate in every human being. I think we all have it, every single person, the ability to connect with somebody on a level that you haven't even investigated yet or even realized that you have.
Absolutely.
Because you're too busy trying to be connected out here. I think everybody's got something within them that allows them to feel people, that allows them to interact without saying a word, that allows them to feel what somebody's going through without having to express it vocally. I think there's some connection that keeps us together that we don't have the patience or even at this point the know-how to know how to tap into because we think we need this to be connected. It's ironic, but I think that's one of the traps. Yes, it's a device that we need to interact to some extent on a business professional level in this world and say hi to mom when she's across the country and stuff like that. But there's a deeper type of connection that we're missing. And I think it stems from being fooled that the connection's right here.
I know this is going to be controversial too, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Do it.
I sleep better with my phone in the other room.
Yeah, I got to stop making my phone my
And now they
clock.
have sleep apps, and they have watches, and they have everything in the world to keep you so freaking connected. Like,
connected, you're not connected.
Who's the tool? Like, you're being used. We're all being used. I normally would never suggest to watch something on TV. Go watch on Netflix called Buy Now. Just go watch it. It's called Buy Now.
B-Y-B-U-Y.
B-U-Y.
Like
now.
Purchase? Okay.
And there are I'm paraphrasing, but this is important. 13,000 cell phones an hour are thrown away. 13,000 that's just the garbage pit piled up by them. There's so many layers to this thing. I promise you, if you use your phone for anything besides work, there is a relationship in your life where somebody wishes you'd put your phone down and be with them. And that's all I'm asking you to do. Let's be with each other, right? Yeah. This is about, I have found more depth. And dang it, man, my wife and I are close. We are tight. Like, we are way tight. I'm going to say it, I have the best marriage that I know of. And there's room there's depth. You know how cool it is to sit in a car
I challenge
for
that.
20 minutes, 25 minutes, totally in silence till something comes out you can say? Without, let's Google this, or let's Google that, or let's check this or check that, or like, how many times do you just jump on the phone to make a phone call? Oh, I got a text from Johnny. I got an alert from the credit union. I got then Facebook. And 20 minutes later, I didn't even call you.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying is, remember the days. Kids, you don't remember these days. I remember days when we got in the car, early in the morning, in the dark, without a phone, and we drove away where nobody knew where we were. And we didn't come back till after dark.
Yeah.
And we lived. We got flat tires. We ran out of gas.
I remember that.
We all kinds of things happened, and the world kept spinning.
But you looked at each other in the face too.
And we didn't have, like, one of my clients, I said something to him about, he said, but I'm a doctor. I said, Doc, you're a chiropractor.
That's going to be controversial.
Like, when was the last time you had a chiropractic emergency at 12 o'clock at night when your wife just told me is the problem with you on the phone? Like, and I'm not picking on anybody here. Just be honest with yourselves and see if there's room in your life for depth in primary relationships. Those are the people you live with.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's
Those
a reason.
are the people in your first kingdom, your wife, your husband, your significant other, your kids. Everybody else is not a significant relationship.
There's a reason we were directed to talk about this.
Yes, it is. And there I go. Just because I got it in my hand, I've looked at it twice.
Stop it. You're here now.
We love you guys. We're not trying to beat you up about our phones.
Just
it was amazing on the way
experiences.
here how much it transformed for both of us.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and it's interesting that we both did it without talking to each other. So somebody out there needed to hear it.
It's a challenge. Stay connected, really connected. Actually,
Give it a
disconnect and reconnect in face to face.
We appreciate you guys.
Love
Thanks
you
for joining
guys.
us.
Have a beautiful day.